The day was April 18th, Good Friday. The last confession I went to was on Good Friday. It was the last hour that they were offering it, and I had unknowingly walked into a Good Friday English Mass. There were 3 pews full of people ahead of me, and I knew it was going to be a long wait. The thought of leaving had actually crossed my mind several times, but I knew I had to stay. For confession, I always felt lost during confession, even if I follow any kind of literature that gives us rubrics. Sometimes I wonder if confession may possibly be a preview of what our final judgment would be like. It's kind of like the Holy Mass. In that brief hour during Mass, heaven and earth crash together as we relive Christ's passion and crucifixion at the altar. Maybe our time in the confessional is God's way of giving us a humanly example of the end of times, when we will be judged for our past sins, prayers, works, and sacrifices. When I think of it in that way, I initially have a feeling of fright, but that God-fearing feeling fuels a fire of strength and determination to do His will. So, it had been 4 months since my last confession. I told my confessor my sins. I had lots of bouts of anger and wrath with motherhood, sloth from my social media addiction and towards my job, and many times I would spend Sundays working when I shouldn't have. For wrath, he urged me to focus on gratefulness and thanksgiving for all the blessings that come with motherhood. My confessor's advice perfectly complements my spiritual director's guidance of focusing on forgiveness to handle my wrath from the hurts and sufferings caused by my childhood. As for sloth, my confessor guided me to work on a rule of life. I did have a rule of life that I had, and I even created a planner and everything for it. But ever since the new year, I ended up not following through because life just got in the way. And with Lent, work had creeped up on me and had been the busiest and most stressful past few months that I've had in a long time. It felt like work was such a heavy burden that it even affected my spiritual life. Our Father was my penance, and I took my penance and offered an extra Our Father for my confessor. From there, I just made the purpose to take the steps to carry out His will. After a few days of reflection, my plan will be first to meet with my spiritual director to work on a rule of life, and also to finally enroll in the Brown Scapular. I've had this Brown Scapular for a couple months now, and I've decided that I'm ready. I wanted to ask my spiritual director for his guidance so I can have requirements to fulfill the Sabbatine privilege. The original requirements is to pray the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary daily. And you could have it be easier depending how your life is, and they could just either fast, abstain from meat on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and pray the rosary. But I want to do it that it was originally intended and aim for committing to the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Hopefully, I can just start with combining Vespers and Compline and Matins and Lauds, and then eventually, as my life gets a bit less busy with little kids running around, then I can start praying the hours at their own specific times. As for my rule of life, I wish for it to follow the charism of Carmelite spirituality and model my day like the harems of Carmelite nuns. So it would be to schedule my day around the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary's hours. And then secondly, for daily TLM. And while we have little children, at least to do spiritual communion by watching it on YouTube or pre-recorded for that day. And then eventually, when I have more time and my children become more independent, then I can start attending daily Mass at church. And then lastly, for rule of life, I want to start working more on the spiritual exercises of Lectio Divina and Examen. And maybe someday in the far future that I can look back and this will have been a stepping stone for my path to sainthood. As crazy as that sounds. Honestly, just saying that is so wild. But I think that's all I have for now. If you have anything that you want me to pray for, feel free to reach out, and I'll see you in the next one.